Hi everyone and welcome to today's teen yoga class. My name is Sara and we're going to be doing about half an hour today. We're going to be doing a really grounding sequence today, so lots of slow and quiet movement. If you've got socks on, you might be alright with them on today, but probably best to take them off just in case you're a little bit slidey, especially if you haven't got a mat. If you've got a yoga mat, that's great, but if you haven't, don't worry. As long as you've got a bit of space around you and you're not likely to crash into anything, that's absolutely fine. So when you're ready, come and join me on the mat and we're going to start in a comfortable seated position. Okay, so just taking a few moments before we start, as we always do, to check in with ourselves. So whatever your seated position looks like, could be cross-legged like me, or you could have legs in front of you. You could have your knees up, whatever's comfortable for you. That's how we're going to start today. So when you've found your seat, if you just allow the shoulders to drop away from the ears, allow them to relax a little, straighten the spine. And when you feel ready, see if you can allow the eyelids to close. And just take a moment to tune in to what's going on inside today. It doesn't matter what that is for you. Today, I think I'm quite low energy today. I'm quite sleepy. So maybe that's you today. Maybe you're quite sleepy. Or maybe you've got lots and lots of energy. Maybe you're a bit anxious today. Or perhaps you're just okay. You're not really one strong thing or the other. But whatever's going on for you inside today, just take a moment to acknowledge it without judgment, just knowing that the feeling's there. And then when you're ready, we're going to start today's practice, as I always like to, with 3 rounds of Brahmari breath. So inhaling through the nostrils and exhaling out with a kind of humming sound. So the exhale is through the nostrils but with the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Inhaling again and exhaling. Last time, inhaling through the nostrils. See if you can keep that spine nice and straight. And exhaling. Just tuning into the body, through all those lovely vibrations. And when you're ready, allowing the eyelids to open so that we can begin to bring some movement into our bodies. Okay, so we're going to start today with my hands and knees in tabletop position. So we're going to start with cat-cows today. So just making sure when you're in this position that you're aligning your shoulder, your elbow and your wrist, just to make sure you're keeping your joints nice and safe. And on an inhale, let you just fill the belly and the head comes up into cow. And as you exhale, sucking the belly in, dropping the head down and coming into cat. Once more, inhale, fill up the belly, head comes up into cow. Exhaling, really sending the shoulders away, dropping the head down like a cat on Halloween, really arching that back. Inhaling, filling the belly, head comes up. Exhaling, dropping the head down, sending the shoulder blades away, really arching that back to cat. coming back to a neutral spine. Taking an inhale here, and as you exhale, sitting back onto the heels, you might want to take the knees slightly wider and extending the arms overhead into child's pose. So we're going to do a little flow today. It's going to be sort of a modified sun salutation. So we're going to start in child's pose. It's going to be a really gentle flow today. And then we're going to come back up into tabletop, walk the hands forward slightly, and come into plank. And see if we can hold our plank for a moment, and then drop the knees down, untuck the toes, lower the chest, and gently push up into our cobra. And then we're going to push back, send the hips back, and sink back into child's pose. So we're still working through the spine here, but not quite with the high energy that we usually would through our sun salutations. So from child's pose, coming forward, sort of through your tabletop into plank, holding your plank for a moment, or a few more moments if you want to. Then dropping the knees, untucking the toes, lowering down chest and chin, pushing up to your cobra. And then pushing back, sending the hips away into child's pose. I don't know if you can see me, you might be losing me from the camera angle, but we'll do the best we can. Again, coming forward into your plank, lowering down knees, untuck the toes, chest and chin, pushing up into your cobra. And sending the hips back into child's pose. We're going to do one more round. So inhaling, coming forward into your plank, holding your plank for a moment. Exhaling, lowering the knees, untucking the toes, chest and chin. Inhaling up to your cobra. Holding for just a moment, and then pushing back into your child's pose. And again here you might want to take the knees just slightly wider than you normally would. I'm just going to rest here a moment. Then from here we're going to make our way down to our backs. I'm going to come this way around actually, I think, so it might be slightly easier for you to see what's going on. So down onto our backs, and then with an inhale I'd like to hug the right knee into the chest. So give it a little squeeze here. And then extending that leg straight up, sole of the foot to the ceiling, taking hold either of the back of the leg, the thigh or the shin or even the toe if you've got access to that today. And pushing through the heel, so we're stretching our hamstrings here. And then gently using the hands to ease the leg in towards the body. So we don't want to be really tugging on the legs, just a gentle easing while we push up through the heel, just to stretch those hamstrings. Bend the knee, hug that knee back into the chest, and then placing your left hand on the top of your knee, I'd like to just roll the body over so that the right knee is coming down to the floor, the right arm opens up behind you, and we've got this nice twist here. So looking over the right shoulder to intensify. And then rolling back to centre, hugging the knee into the chest, before stretching that leg long on the mat, stretching the arms overhead, stretching the legs long, take a full body stretch. And then exhale all the air out of your body. And the next inhale, bringing the left knee into the chest. And just taking a moment here, tuning into your breath today, seeing what's going on. Are you breathing from the chest or are you breathing from the belly? See if you can notice. Now when you're ready, stretching that left foot up to the ceiling, really pushing through the heels to stretch the hamstrings. And gently using the arms, just like we did on the other side, to draw the leg into the body. I want you to see if you can keep your upper body nice and flat on the mat, so I don't want to see sort of heads and shoulders raising here. Keeping everything nice and flat. And really pushing through that left heel, really feeling that lovely stretch in our hamstrings. And as we exhale, hugging the knee into the chest here. Taking a couple of breaths. And this time we're going to put the right hand on the outside of the left knee, and on an exhale we're just going to roll the body over into a twist, extending that left arm shoulder height and looking over the left shoulder just to intensify the twist. So twists are really good for detoxifying the body. I think we could probably all do a bit of that right now. Emotions and different things that are going on. And then when we inhale, coming back to centre, hugging that left knee in. Exhaling, stretching the body long, full body stretch. Inhale, draw both knees into the chest this time. Give them a hug, and I want you to just gently rock from side to side, just massaging the lower back. Oh, the cat's come to join us. She does like yoga. Okay. And then again, stretching the legs long along the mat, stretching the arms overhead. And then letting everything go. Okay, the next one we're going to do is we're going to move into Banana Asana. So I would like you to move your left leg towards the left side of your mat. If you haven't got a mat, then you just kind of have to imagine. Then bringing your right foot over and crossing the left leg at the ankle. Okay. And then the arms come up behind the head, and then you bring the left elbow down towards the side of the body, the left side of the body, so you're in a nice banana shape here. Okay. And just taking a couple of breaths, feeling the nice stretch in the right side of the body. You can play around with your foot position, you can move the feet a little bit further to the left and see if that intensifies the stretch for you if you like. And then when you're ready, straightening up the arms, uncrossing the legs, bring them back to centre, taking a nice full body stretch, arms overhead, legs long. And then we're going to repeat on the opposite side. So right leg to the right side of the mat, left leg crossing over at the ankle. I know you can't see this because we're filming in my kitchen, which is not massive. So right foot going right over to the right side of the mat, left leg crossing over at the ankle, arms behind your head, and then bringing your right elbow down to the right side of your body. And just feeling the stretch into the left side. It's called Banana Asana because it makes your body look like a banana. It's one of my favourite yin postures. So just feeling that stretch in the left side of the body. Maybe playing with your arm position or your leg position if you want that stretch to be a bit stronger. And then straightening everything back up, taking a full body stretch, really stretching long. Wonderful. And then gently making your way up to sitting position. I'm going to do a little bit of core work now, but very grounding seated core work. So sitting on your sit bones, bringing your soles of your feet onto the mat and your knees up, keeping the spine long. And we're going to have a go at boat pose today, which I think we've done before. So you bring your arms round your legs as if you're going to hug the knees into the chest. And then you're going to see if you can just gently lift the feet off of the mat, so you're finding a point of balance on your sit bones. And this may be enough for you today, because you have to engage your core to keep this balance here. But if you want to try boat pose, we're going to extend the legs long, and you can keep hold of your legs if you like. That helps your balance, or you can take your hands away from the legs. See if you can balance here. So making sure you still remember to breathe, which can be easier said than done when we're doing core work. And then letting everything come back down. Beautiful. That's the hard bit out of the way today. So then coming into a seated position again, we're going to take a big inhale. We're going to sweep the arms up overhead. And as we exhale, we're going to bring them back down to our sides. We're going to send the right arm away. With an inhale, the left arm comes up, and as we exhale, we're going to fold into the right side. So again, working on these lovely side lines today. Inhaling, coming back up, sending the left arm away. So next inhale, bringing the right arm up, and as we exhale, folding down into the side body. Really rooting down through the sit bones here, so we're not rising up on the right side. Inhaling, coming back to centre. Okay, so we're going to have a go at shoelace pose now. So if you've got any knee issues, this might not be the pose for you, so feel free to skip if you need to. But starting from a cross-legged pose, you want your left knee flat on the floor. And what we're going to do is we are going to turn the body ever so slightly so that the left knee is pointing forward and the left foot is pointing behind. And then we're going to cross the right leg on top, so the right ankle comes down towards the left hip, and we're going to stack the knees. So this is shoelace. So half shoelace may be enough for you today, with just your left knee underneath and your right leg out straight. That's absolutely fine. But if you want to try the full posture, we're bringing the right ankle towards the left hip, and we're stacking the knees, and we're just going to grow nice and tall here. Just allowing the body to settle. And then we're going to think of a stretch for the shoulder blades and also the front body. So we're going to bring the left arm up, palm in front of your face. The right arm is going to cross under the elbow, and then you're going to bring the palms round together to meet each other. Okay? I'll show you that again. So left hand coming up, palm towards your face. Right arm underneath, and the palms coming round to meet each other. And then you're going to push the left hand away from your face and raise the elbows up, and that's where we feel the stretch into our shoulder blades. We're just going to sit nice and tall here. Take a few deep breaths, seeing if we can bring our breath right down into our bellies. One more. And then we're going to release the arms. We're going to uncross the legs, straighten them out for a moment, straightening spine, lifting through the chest, putting the weight back onto the hands before switching to the other side. So crossing the right leg under this time, so the right knee faces forward and the right foot faces behind, tucking under the left side of the body. If you want to stay here with your left leg straight in front of you, that's absolutely fine. If you want to take the full posture, we're bringing the left ankle round towards the right hip, and we're stacking the knees. Okay, see my knees are stacked on top here. Be careful of any sensation knee and round into your thigh if your iliotibial band maybe is protesting a little bit of this. If it is, then keep that leg out straight. Okay, so growing nice and tall here again, and this time we're going to do the arms on the opposite side, so the opposite cross. So bringing the right hand up in front of your face this time. The left arm goes under, and the palms come around to meet each other. Okay, so I'm going to show you again. So right hand in front of the face, palm facing your face, left arm comes under, palms come around to meet each other. Then we're going to push the right hand away slightly and lift up, taking the stretch into the shoulder blades. And again, seeing if we can do some of our deep belly breaths here. So expanding the belly, filling up the chest, neck and the throat last of all. And then when we exhale, exhaling from the throat, the chest and the belly last of all. So we're doing our full yogic breaths here. So inhaling from the belly, filling up the chest, filling up the throat. And as we exhale, exhaling from the throat, the chest and the belly last of all. So you can do a couple more in your own time. If the arms are too much, feel free to uncross your arms. And then when you're ready, uncrossing those arms, stretching the legs forward, rocking back onto the hands, hands behind the hips, and stretching through the chest, perhaps pointing the toes, flexing the toes, just to give yourself a bit of a stretch. And then we're going to make our way back down onto our backs. So this time, coming onto our backs, soles of the feet flat on the floor, knees pointing towards the ceiling. We're going to have a go at eye of the needle next, so I'd like you to see if you can cross your right ankle over your left knee. So it's not a full cross of the legs, it's the ankle resting on the left knee. And then this might be a strong enough stretch for you. If your hips are quite tight, you might find that this is plenty strong enough. If it is, feel free to stay here. If you want to increase the stretch, I'm going to reach through, so I'm going to thread the needle, hand's going to come between the right and the left leg and outside the left leg, taking hold of the left shin, rolling the upper body so it's flat on the mat again, and just feeling that stretch into the right hip, the outside of the right thigh. And again, seeing if we can focus in onto our breath. I told you today is going to be a nice, slow, grounding practice. And then releasing that left leg back down, uncrossing the right leg. Taking a full body stretch, arms come overhead, legs stretching long. I'm slightly cramped here, so imagining that my arms are stretching right the way up. And then bringing those feet back flat on the mat, crossing the left ankle over the right knee. And again, this may be enough for you today. You might not want to stretch any further than this, but if you do want to thread the needle, left hand is going between the legs, right hand around the outside, and just drawing that shin in to our body, keeping the upper body nice and flat on the mat and feeling the stretch into the left hip. Focusing in on our breath. I'm going to drop that leg because that is plenty strong enough for me today. Focusing in on our breath. Then uncrossing the legs, stretching the spine long. Full body stretch. And then bringing those feet back to the mat again, so the knees are pointing out. We're just going to finish with our twists today. So sending the hips over to the right side of the mat, extending the arms at shoulder height, and then dropping the knees to the left. Looking over your right shoulder to intensify the stretch. And if you want to, even straightening your legs right out, just to make the sensations a little stronger. But again, play around with those legs, see where it feels comfortable. coming back to centre, squaring off those hips before sending the hips over to the left and dropping the knees down to the right. Again, playing around with your leg position, maybe stretching the legs right out, maybe keeping a bend, looking over that left shoulder. Really feeling the stretch into the side body. Noticing the breath. And straightening everything back up. Soles of the feet on the mat, squaring away the hips, stretching the legs long on the mat into Savasana, arms coming down by your sides. If you don't feel so comfortable laying here on your back, then feel free to turn over onto your front, pillowing your head with your hands, or any other position that feels comfortable for you for your final resting posture. And so wherever you're finishing today's practice, just allowing the body to settle. And just really noticing the contact between the body and the floor. Noticing the contact between the body and the floor. Back of the head or the front of the head. Along the back, or perhaps the front of your body. Back or the front of your legs, depending on how you're laying. Just noticing that plane of contact. And then feeling your right hand, your right wrist, your right elbow, shoulder, right side of the torso, the right hip, the right knee, the right ankle, and the right foot, and then all the way back up that right side to the right hand. And feel the left hand, the left ankle, the left hand, the left wrist, the left elbow, the left shoulder, the left side of the torso, the hip, the knee, the ankle, the left foot, the left side of the body from the foot all the way back up to the shoulder, down the arm, and back to the left hand. Feel both hands together. Feel the whole of the body together from the feet all the way up to the collarbones, to the neck, to the face, to the top of the head, and the whole of the body from the top of the head all the way down to the toes. And then just resting here. Resting here, feeling safe, supported, secure. Allowing yourself to simply be. If you want to today, either staying here in a slightly longer Savasana, or rolling over onto the left or the right side. Always the left if you have low blood pressure or you're pregnant. And just staying a moment here. Before gently making your way back up to a comfortable seated position. Eyes can be open or closed at this point, it's up to you. And then with an inhale, raising the arms up overhead. Exhaling out through the mouth. As hands come down through heart center. May you be content with what you have. May you rejoice in the way that things are. May you realize that you lack nothing. And may you be always where you're supposed to be. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. My self-care tip this week is to respect your body where it's at this moment in time. If you've got any injuries, don't push too hard, don't try and do something that your body is not ready to do. And I've been thinking on a Zen challenge this week, and we had our staff meeting, our virtual staff meeting today, and we were talking about all the different things that we cooked. So my Zen challenge for you this week is to cook something that you've never tried before, something that takes you right out of your comfort zone. Thank you for joining me. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you next week.